Good day, David Schultz here, and today I'm going over Prosperity, a tile drafting game where you are building the infrastructure of your country over the decades. This one is, it's short, simple, not more than an hour, and 2 to 4 players. It's fun. Let me jump right into the how to play, and then I'll let you know what I thought about it. So here I have a game set up for 2 players, the red player and the blue player. You can see the research tracks coming through here. And as I said before, this goes through the decades, 70s, 80s, all the way up to 2030s, where you're building your infrastructure for your country, and these represent the different areas that you can build on. Power, transportation, infrastructure, and I can't remember what that one is. So essentially, the board is balanced in that you can see there's 2 power being used, 2 power being generated by this power plant, and 1 power being used on your board. Hence, you have +1 in your power track. And you can also see that you have 1 ecology being created, but you're creating 2 pollution here. So you have a -1 in your ecology track, which means that when pollution comes up, you will add a disc to your pollution. You can see you start with 8, and it can go up or down as the game goes on. Now, the way it's played, this indicates what you can do on your turn. You get 2 actions. You can get money, generate revenue. You get 100 euros over here, 100 euros. You can decrease your pollution by 1. You can up your research track, either the ecology or the power track, which means just moving these up 1 space. And that's important because at the end of the game, whoever's highest in each track gets an extra 3 points, and the second place gets 1. It also means that as you go up, things will become cheaper, because this here indicates what things cost. So it costs 100 euros if you're at that level, so these tiles cost 100 euros. And if you were up in this level, then anything below you would only cost 50 euros. Now, you can also buy things above you, but they're going to cost an extra 100 euros per level. So say you wanted to buy this tile here and you're at this level, it would cost you 100 to 300 euros to get that tile. So that's why research is important. So that's research, and then obviously the last action is to buy a tile. So on your turn you get to do 2 things. You can do the same thing twice, or you can choose different things. A lot of times you'll get money and then buy a tile because you don't have enough money or something like that. So that's the gist of it. Also, the black side is a more advanced board, which just makes it a little more difficult. You'll see here that you can't use these spots until this one is played upon. That's what the X indicates. And you'll see on the more difficult board that there's 2 spots where you'd have to play before you can play more infrastructure. Now, the crux of this game is figuring out which tiles to play to maximize your prosperity points. And on a turn, you flip a tile. You decide where it goes based on the number in the corner. In this case, it says 1, and it's green, so it would go on the ecology side in the 1 level here. And it also, when you pull a tile, you're going to look at what's highlighted with a white border. In this case, it's ecology, so you would score ecology. Each person would score ecology. In this case, each of you is at the beginning of the game is -1, so each of you would have to add an additional pollution marker to your board. That's how it's played. And then once that's played, the person who pulled the tile, the active player, would get to do their two actions based on these things here. That's the crux of the game. Basically, that's it. Obviously, you want to figure out which tiles to get to keep yourself in balance, essentially. You don't want to get too polluted or too much, not enough energy, essentially. So this here is an indicator of the end game scoring. So once all these tiles are played, all the way up through 2030. You're then going to go into final scoring, and this indicates that you're going to count your power twice, which means your power track. In this case, like you are at 1, so you would count that twice, and each one gives you 50 euros, so you get 100 euros. And then this one indicates you count your ecology twice. So if you were still at -1, you would actually add 2 markers because you're doing it twice to pollution. This one indicates that you would then count your money, so your money tiles, and on your board that's indicated by this. So when money comes up, you would get euros, 100 euros. So you would count your money at the end of the game, and for every 300 you have, you would get a prosperity point. Then you would go up in the research tracks based on how much research you had on your board. And like the base board has, well, this is not the base board, that's the advanced board, but both of them have 1 research on here. And so you would go up 1 in each track. Now obviously at the end of the game, this is going to be full and you'll have much more research, maybe 6 or 7. And so you would go up that much in each track. And then you would calculate who has the highest in each track. And for each track you would get 3 prosperity points for the person who had the maximum, and 1 for the runner-up. And then you would count all of your prosperity points. You'll notice that the only ones on your board at the beginning of the game are the ones that are uncovered by pollution. So if pollution covers these up, you would not get the prosperity points. But if you had brought your pollution all the way down, you would get 3 prosperity points. Now if your pollution was already up here, you would get no prosperity. Even on your board, you'd get none. But as the game goes on, you'll see there's prosperity ones, so you'll maybe replace this with that, and you would actually you'd get these prosperity points when you count the prosperity at the end of the game. Now also, as the game goes on, and you're flipping tiles, as you go through the ages, some will come up, and like this one is research because of the white border around it, and some will come up where you're actually counting prosperity. So your prosperity, whatever is exposed at the time, for as far as tiles and pollution track, will give you. You'll count your prosperity and up yourself in the prosperity track, which is here. At the end of the game, whoever has the highest prosperity wins. That is a really quick overview of the game. Okay, so I'm just going to do a quick playthrough of the 1970s. Each player starts with 100 euros to begin. So the way let's say this is the active play. The way it works is we pull for a tile, and the symbol on it that has a white border, in this case prosperity, is what reward you get this turn. So this is going to be placed in one of the power or the ecology track based on this corner number. In this case it's 3, and it is green, so it would go on the ecology side, and you can notice it's on the right side of the tile, so it goes on the right side of the board. So we put it here in the ecology on the 3rd level, okay? These should be at the beginning, sorry. And then so we get prosperity. So we look at each person's board and how much prosperity do they have. Well, it's the beginning of the game, so each person only has 1 prosperity uncovered, and they have no tiles with prosperity on them, so they each get 1 prosperity point. So we bump them up 1 on the prosperity track. That's the first move. Then this person gets to make their 2 actions. As I mentioned before, you get 2 actions, which can be get revenue, remove pollution, up yourself in the research track, or buy a tile. So in this case, I've got 100 already. I can buy something at this level for 100. I can't buy anything above. I don't have enough money. I could, because it costs an extra 100 each level. So if I wanted, I could say, I want an extra 100. So that's my first move. And then I'm going to spend 200 to, let's buy this one. So I'm going to buy that one. And then what I'm going to do is on my board, I'm going to overlay or put in an empty spot one of this tile, and it has to be the corresponding color. I cannot put it here because I haven't opened up that spot, because that X, I haven't created transportation to have extra infrastructure over there. But so I'm just going to put it here because that's an empty spot, or I could have also put it there. I'll put it here, and what it does is it reduces my power by 1, so my power drops from 1 down to 0, but it bumps my ecology up 2. So I'll go from -1 to 0, 1 to 1. And that's my turn. These go back into the pool. And the next person comes. This player over here pulls this tile. Oh, it's ecology. Okay. Well, on ecology, what happens? We look at our ecology track. In this case, I have a 1, which gives me a minus pollution, so I get to take a pollution off. and then this active player looks at his, and he actually has a -1, which means he has to put pollution on. And then again, this is green, and it's 1 level, so it goes here. And so this user gets to choose what they want to do. Player, excuse me. In this case, they'll be like, oh, I want some power. So maybe I'm going to grab, maybe I'm just going to spend my 100, buy this power plant right here. And that goes over there. And then I'm going to put it over here in my power area. Gives me an extra 4 power. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. But it also drops my ecology by 2. 1, 2. So I'm now at -3. Okay, and then I'm also going to choose, oh, you know what, I'm going to go up in the research track. So that was that person's turn. And now it continues, etc. Next one comes up. This one's money. So we look at how much money do we have. In this case, this person has 1. This person also only has 1. So they each get 100 in money for this one, this person's turn. This pops up, goes in the 3 area. And then this person gets to choose what they want to do, etc. So this is how the game goes, and you're going to be overlaying things. And the interesting thing is, let's say it's this person's turn. They decide, okay, I'm going to do similar to what I did last time. I'm going to grab another 100, and then I'm going to buy this one, because I had to pay 200 to get this one. But in this case, I'm going to overlay my power plant here with this one. Now when I overlay it, you can see it's 1 more power, so I'd go up 1 power. But the ecology would not change, because it's still only -1. So that's all that would happen in that case. So you can see overlaying is very important. And you have to, of course, coordinate the colors. That's a quick overview of a couple moves. So that was an overview of Prosperity. Now what were my thoughts on this game? It's a fun game. It's not very involved. It is a little thinky, but it ends up being kind of solo. There's not a lot of interaction between the players other than maybe taking a tile that someone else was looking at. I didn't mention during my overview, but some of the tiles you don't actually play them on your board. They just add things to you, like an extra couple prosperity, or let you remove 3 pollution tokens. But as far as like, what do I think of it? I think that it is a decent game. I generally base what I think about a game on how good of a bargain I can get on them. Like, what would I pay for this game? I would pay maybe up to $20 for it, but that's about it. It's fun. I don't think it would last long. Like, I think after playing about 5 to 10 times, you'll probably be like, okay, that was fun. But there you go. That's my take on Prosperity.